No, I just recently heard this cool story, so I thought I'd come on here and share it for the mission video. And it kind of relates back to what I said yesterday, and it's so cool, man, so cool. And this is the kind of life we gotta remember to live as a man, right? So it was a story about the gold rush in I forgot what year, like 1903. No, I don't know about 1903, 1800s or 1900s, whenever the whole gold rush thing was, right? And if you don't know what that was, if you didn't pay attention in school, basically, if you didn't pay attention in school, the gold rush was basically, it was a period where someone was digging and mining, and then they ended up finding gold in California. It was basically a get rich quick kind of thing because, gold is so valuable, man. So the guy found gold and basically got rich quick. So then everyone wanted to hop on this trend. It started getting spread all across the world. Kind of like how you see in today's world, it's all about the, start an online business and get rich quick and start these social media accounts and you get rich quick. When in reality, if that's the reason you're doing it, you're gonna end up, it doesn't work the same as mining for gold, right? You got to have a love for doing it if you really want to do it. Because even if you get nothing out of it, then you're still doing what you love. But anyway, whole nother thing, right? It started getting spread across the world, like, oh my gosh, I got to go to California. So I guess what I heard is that people were leaving their families, people were leaving their houses, they were selling their houses, they were selling everything, just so they can all go move to California and dig down in as much as they can and find gold, and dig all around. And so everyone was hopping on this trend. I mean, obviously not every single person, but a whole bunch of people all around the US, they were hopping on this trend of sell everything, leave your family, stuff like that, and just move to California to go find that gold. Get rich quick, right? Type of thing. And so all these people, they were moving to California. And of course, as you can suspect, a lot of them dug and didn't end up finding gold. It's not like gold is just, a whole layer of itself. Like how dirt's a layer of the ground itself. It's not like gold is like dirt. You gotta dig in the right spot, and you kind of have to get lucky. It's kind of like playing the lottery, right? I mean, every ticket you buy, you're not just gonna win. So a lot of people, they dug around, they dug for a long time, and they didn't end up finding anything. They didn't end up striking anything. But the story that I heard is that there was this one man, right, who sold everything and went to California, and he gave himself a deadline. He gave himself, I don't know how long, but he basically said, I'm giving myself until this amount of time to find gold, and if I don't, I'm leaving California and moving back. Oh man, this is, when I hear this story, I realize, hang on, I'm gonna get into it in a second, but I realized that if this was me in this story, and I had heard about what's about to happen, right? If I was the one who moved to California, didn't find the gold, and then moved back, not to spoil you, but and then I heard about what happened next, I would be so furious, and I would be furious with myself. Like, really, Justin, really. And this is why I continue, and this is why you and I, right after you hear this, you're going to continue to go after your dreams no matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes, or no matter what it is. Because if you don't, oh my gosh, hang on. Okay, back to the story, is that this guy, right, he moved there, he gave himself the X amount of time to find gold, he kept digging every single day, he was going at it, and then didn't end up finding gold. So he sold the property that he was staying on and moved out. Another guy bought this property, and 3 feet below where the guy was digging, 3 stupid, lousy feet below where this guy who stayed at this place for a long time and was digging, and I know it's X amount of time. It's not like he was there for 7 days. I don't know the exact amount of time. I just know it was a long time. The original guy was there digging for gold. That said, if I don't get it by this amount of time, I'm moving out, right? He was there for a long time. And yet this new guy who bought his property, who was digging for a long time, digging and digging and digging, all he had to do was dig 3 feet below where this guy, the original guy, was digging, and he struck gold. This guy who gave himself a deadline of this amount of time to find gold, if he had just stuck around for a little bit longer and dug in that spot a little bit longer, he would have reached the gold. Actual real gold. And he would have been rich. He would have fulfilled the mission that he dropped everything to go on this mission. And it would have been worth it, possibly. I don't think leaving your family for gold is ever worth it. I don't know if he left his family or not, but what I did hear is that he left his house and he sold everything. Okay, fair enough. If you're alone, you don't got people to take care of. Hey, fair enough. But no, man, it's like all he had to do was stick around for just a little bit longer. But because he gave himself this deadline, right? That's why he failed. And man, when I heard this story, bro, like, it hit so hard. There's even a little picture too. And there was a picture of the top half of this picture and the bottom half. The top half was a guy that he was digging this tunnel, right? He was digging through this tunnel, and at the very end of it, it was gold, but he was about halfway through. But you just see this guy, like, with a pickaxe, and he looks like he's sweating in the picture. He's holding a pickaxe, and he's digging, and at the end, you could see gold. And then the bottom part of the picture was a guy who had his pickaxe in his hand, but he was at, like, the very end of the tunnel. Like, there was just a thin wall of dirt between him and the gold, but you just saw him that he was facing the other way with his pickaxe held down. Basically saying that this guy, if he had just dug a little bit more, he would have struck the gold, right? And I know this is just a picture. This is just like an animated picture, but it's so powerful, man, that in our lives as men, in our lives as God-serving, God-loving men, masculine men, like, it's so the temptation to give up on our dreams because it's not working out when we want to. It's so easy to give into. Do you know how many times I've almost given up on my dreams? The only time I've ever really given up on my dreams is if I had a better plan in place and if I felt God telling me to go somewhere else. In that case, yeah, you give up on that. It's giving up on your old life for the new phase of your life, the new life that you need to transition to in a manner. That's a different story. If you're giving up something for something better and for a different path that you feel God's telling you to walk, hey, that's different. But if you're giving up just because you're not feeling motivated, you can't take it anymore, you've been working hard, you've been disciplined all this time, but you haven't seen the results, and it's just painful, it's annoying, it's stressful, it's irritating, and you're giving up because you can't take it anymore, that's where you're wrong. Because sometimes, just sometimes, you have to dig just a few more feet to strike that gold. And sometimes you may have to dig 100 more feet, but you know what? If you keep digging day by day, eventually you're going to get rid of that 100 feet of digging that you got to do. So the more that you do it over time, you're going to make enough mistakes required to figure that thing out, number one. Number two, if you just keep going at it, man, you're slowly digging away the dirt. So even if there was 1,000 more feet of dirt in front of you, hey, if you just keep digging for long enough, eventually you're going to strike gold eventually, But sometimes there's only 3 feet of dirt before you strike gold, right? And because you let the devil play with your head, which was the devil's goal all along, to get in your head. That's the devil's goal, man, to get in your head, to get you to turn away from, the blessings God has for you and to turn away from, the dreams that you have and the goals and the mission that you have as a man, right? The whole purpose of the devil is to distract you, to catch you off guard, to just completely throw you off track. And sometimes you only have a few more feet of dirt to dig before you strike gold. And it's so easy just to want to give up. It's so easy, man. And it doesn't take anything either. It doesn't take anything to give up. All you do is drop the mic, that's it. To give up, it's so easy because all you got to do is just drop everything and say, forget it, screw it, and walk away, right? But keeping on going takes a lot of work, man. It takes swinging that pickaxe. It takes digging that shovel. It takes sweating and hard work. So yeah, it's harder to keep moving forward, but it's more worth it. And it's inevitable, unless God has different plans, because God's plans always prevail, right? Even his word says so. But if you're walking the path you feel God telling you to walk, if you're going on the mission you know that you need to go on as a man, if you're going after goals and dreams that you just know you got to accomplish in this life, if you go after it long enough, you're going to find one of two things. One is that either you thought it was for you, but later on realized that it wasn't. In that case, it's all right to turn back around. You thought it was God's path for you, but then you come to realize it's just a dead-end road, and not because you feel like it is, because you can't take it anymore, but because it genuinely is. Like God's telling you to turn around. God's telling you to walk a different path. He just wanted you to walk that path so he could teach you some things and show you some things, right, before you're ready to walk the serious path. And sometimes you might have to walk multiple of those dead-end roads. I know I have. But anytime I've ever given up or turned back on a road, it was just because I knew God was telling me to, right? I knew that there was nothing at the end of this that I needed. And I just knew God was telling me to turn around. But I'm glad I walked all those dead-end roads because God taught me a lot during those things, and he needed to teach me some things, right? And so whenever I do end up being on my final path, whenever I do get on my final path, hey, God used all those dead-end roads to prepare me, just like he's using it to prepare you, man. But bottom line is that the only time you should ever turn around or give up is if you have something better in place, if God's telling you to go down a different road. That's it. Other than that, if you know that there's a mission you got to accomplish, if you know that there's dreams and goals that you had that you need to go after, if you know what God is telling you to do. Like go all in and go and do it and never give up. Even God's word says, like to never give up, right? I mentioned that in yesterday's video. Do not become weary in doing good works, for at the right time, not your time, but at the right time, which is God's time, which is not your time, for at the right time, you will produce a harvest for those who do not give up. You know, discipline at the time seems painful, but it produces a harvest of righteousness for those who are trained by it. Those are a couple Bible verses. Gosh, I love that. It's just basically saying, stay disciplined and never give up. That's it. You know, God has plans to give you hope in the future, right? God's plans always prevail. So again, even if you think that you're supposed to go down this one path, you know, and it just doesn't end up working out, but hey, God has different plans for you, man. So just remember that, you know, God's always got different plans. But just keep going what you know that you need to go after, and keep doing what you know you need to do, and never, ever quit, no matter how hard or tiring or stressful it is. Because even if, you know, for all you know, you could just be 3 feet away from striking gold. But even if you are 1,000 feet away, you're going to get through with that 1,000 feet eventually. You're just going to have to work day by day and work through it, man. And eventually you'll get there, and it's hard work, but it's a lot more worth it than just turning around and giving up. Because once you give up, as Steve Harvey says, the guarantee of giving up is that it'll never happen. Once you give up, it will never, ever happen. There is no chance it'll ever happen once you give up. And then you're gonna look back and regret it later on and say, I should have went a little bit longer at least. You'll never know how far you can get if you give up. You'll never know how far you can get. So bottom line here, don't give up. Keep digging. Keep going after that goal that you know that you need to get. You know, whether it be finding a good girl, or whether it be accomplishing your purpose in this life, or whether it be a certain job that you're going after, or whether it be a certain place that you're trying to live in, or whether it be just whatever God's calling you to do, wherever he's telling you to go, right? It's not going to be easy, but that's the whole point. It's meant to test our faith in him. It's meant to, you know, test our own masculinity as men, and all the trials and tribulations and stress and fear and doubts and worries. It's all meant just to build us and make us better men. That's all it's ever meant. That's all God ever wanted to do, was just help us and build us, not to hurt us. But we're gonna have to go through some pain, right? But hey, you know, God's got you, man. God's got us. That's what matters. And when his time is right, you know, it will happen, as long as you stick with him and you don't give up. That's it. That's it right there. I had to share that story and just tie it back to, of course, a good old-fashioned masculinity lesson. You know, good old-fashioned lesson for us men. Because, man, once I heard that, you know, like, I've just been so tempted to give up on a lot of things recently. And God always comes through at the perfect time. And I've been feeling that way, right, recently. But then I just heard the story, and I'm like, God, I know that's you speaking to me. Like, I know it's not, you know, I heard it from another guy on YouTube, but he was speaking to me through that guy. Because why else would I have just randomly found that? When this one guy, I've seen him on YouTube, but I just never really watched him. And then all of a sudden, I don't know where I just decided, yeah, I'm going to watch him. Even though the video was never titled, like, Never Give Up or anything. I forgot what it was. It was something like, oh, God says this to you, you know. But, you know, kind of like a generic title. So it wasn't anything like, you know, Never Give Up. It was just a generic title, and I just decided for myself, like, hey, I'm just going to watch it, and, you know, I feel like I should watch it, and boom, that's when I heard the story. I'm like, whoa. So yeah, and I'm telling you, when God doesn't want you to give up, he's gonna show you, man. He's gonna tell you. So you better be aware and listen to him. Bottom line, just don't quit, man. You got this, whatever you're going after, 100%. Whether you have doubts or worries or fears or stresses, forget all that. Forget all of it. Just do what you know you need to do as a man, regardless of how you feel, and never, ever give up. It'll be worth it in the end. Check this out. I came right through here and followed the little path, and over here it is a little opening. But I just realized that I'm not sure, because I'm not really a plant expert, but I think that might be poison ivy. So I'm gonna stay away from that. So then, where do I go? Tell me this isn't cool. Tell me this ain't cool. Now, yeah, it's kind of a bit muddy. I'm hesitant because I got some nice shoes, but you know what? I got more than nice shoes. I got more adventure in me. So, hey, why not? This is actually pretty cool. It's almost like a secret little spot. You know, you go right off the path and you come down here. I don't even know if a lot of people know about over here or not. And yes, this is that same place that I went on my, you know, creepy adventure, if you will, my one video, like last week. But I'm not going that far on the trail again. Or maybe I will. But yeah, at least had to show how I got here, because it's pretty darn cool. So consider this a mini adventure, if you will, because I know I certainly do. I wish there was a way to get across to that platform over there, but not that I can see. So let's get back to the workout. Oh, okay. Now, I'm gonna finish up this workout and then kind of show you the little path that I took to get here, which you might remember from last time. I might even go around that one path one more time. So, the only part I don't like about this spot is that it's really hard. I keep having to work around the mud and everything. There's like poison ivy plants. I don't know if they are, but I'm fairly certain that they're poison ivy plants. And yeah, it's just muddy and soggy everywhere. So this spot is really, really stinking cool. But I think it would honestly be better in maybe like the fall time or something. Either when it gets drier or when the plants start dying, or if it was more open, it would be better. It's just really hard for me to work around. Because I don't mind like stepping in the mud and stuff like that here and there, but at the same time, I also got work and stuff, so I got to keep my shoes clean. And I don't got these big old boots or anything, so it's just kind of hard to work around. That's the only part that's throwing me off. But yeah, no biggie. I still think the spot's beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna finish up my workout and then take you on like the little path around. So I'll be right back. All right, so I just got out of there, that little kind of secret spot. It's pretty cool. Check this out, right? I know it's not necessarily a whole secret, but it kind of is because, right, this is the path you originally come on, right, and then you look left or right, and yeah, it's kind of a bigger opening, but it also looks like a dead end too. It's just if you go down farther, you get to hit that little pot of gold over there. So that's what's pretty darn cool about it. And yeah, like I said, when it's drier and stuff, I'd be a lot more open to doing workouts there. But when it's too muddy, especially right by the river, yeah, it's just kind of hard to work around. So, I mean, hey, you know what? Gotten a little adventure. That's all that matters. And sometimes what you might think is a dead-end road actually leads to a secret hidden pot of gold. Now, sometimes the dead-end roads are completely blocked off. It's like, yeah, this is definitely a dead-end road. So what do you do when you hit that in life? You turn around and, well, you see what other paths God has in store for you. But if you happen to come across that dead-end road sign, yet you see a little opening to the side of it or underneath it or something, right? You see a little opening, try going through it. Try going through it, because what you thought was a dead-end road might actually be a path to something amazing, something beautiful. And sometimes you just gotta search for it and you'll find it, right? I mean, as God's word even says, seek and you will find. But yeah, if it's a completely dead-end road, no path, no secret, nothing in life, right? It's just completely dead-end, nowhere else to go. Hey, you just gotta turn around. Sometimes when you come across a certain road in life, there's gonna be a wall blocking it. Now you can either take that as, oh yeah, the road's dead, or I just gotta break through the wall. I gotta break through that obstacle that's holding me back from this road. And sometimes you just gotta break through that wall, man. But it's just kind of up to your own judgment to decide, hey, this road that I'm on, this path, is it really a dead end? Or is there a wall in my way that I gotta break down? Oh yeah, this is private. Nope, not going back there. You gotta decide. It's kind of up to your own judgment. Hey, am I really at a dead-end road? Or is there a secret spot hidden in this dead-end road that I just can't see? But maybe I see a little opening, or maybe I just gotta go a little bit past that dead-end road and see if there's an opening. Or you come across that dead-end road, right? There's a big wall, there's a big rock in your way. Hey, is this really a dead-end road, or do I gotta chip through that wall day after day until eventually I break the wall down and I can keep moving forward to a path that was hid behind this wall, right? It's kind of up for you to decide in your own path in life, right? Because when you're on a path, you're either going to come to a dead-end road and you're going to have to turn around and take a different path, right? But the reason God allowed you to take that path is because he wanted to teach you some things that would be best to have learned from going across that path, number one. Number two, when you're on your path, you may encounter a wall or a rock or some big old thing standing in your way. But you just have a feeling that there's something on the other side. And you got to chip away at that wall or that rock day after day, no matter how long it takes, whether it's for days, weeks, or years that it takes for you to chip away at that wall or that rock or that obstacle in the way. And you got to chip at it day after day until eventually you break down the whole thing and boom, you can continue on your path. Or number three, you come across a dead-end road sign in your life, right? Instead of just automatically seeing dead-end road and turning around, look all around that dead-end road. Look all around it, every which way. Look above that sign, that dead-end road sign. Look below that dead-end road sign. Look to the sides. Look to the corners. Look everywhere around that sign, because there may just be a little secret opening that if you don't look thoroughly, you might miss. And when you go through that secret opening, it could lead you to something beautiful, right? So do remember that a dead-end road sign doesn't always mean it's a dead-end road, or a wall completely blocking your path doesn't always mean that's it. It's up to your own judgment to decide, is this path really a dead end? Or is there something behind that wall? Or is there a little secret path, beyond this dead-end road sign? And I just got to keep moving to see what'll happen. I got to break down this wall to see if there is something. I got to search all around this dead-end road sign to see if there is a secret path, right? And then if you search for different openings, the secret path or whatever, there's nothing. If you break down the wall or the rock and there's just nothing, it's just, pure black space, whatever, nothing beyond it, then it's like, okay, at least you can say that I try. At least you can say, hey, I tried. I tried seeing if there was more, there wasn't. Now I'll turn back. Because if you just assume that every road is a dead-end road, you're just going to find yourself going back in a loop throughout life. But you got to be sure that it's a dead-end road, not just by seeing the sign that's clearly posted, but by looking all around it, maybe even chipping through that sign, see what's on the other side. And because for all you know, there could be a secret, blessing or secret pot of gold or something beautiful on that other side that you didn't know about, and that you only found out because you decided to break down that wall, break through that obstacle holding you back. Search for that little secret passage in the dead-end road sign. But yeah, if you search beyond the sign, if you break down the wall, the obstacles, and there's still nothing, it's just pure, it's clearly a dead road. Your gut's telling you that, God's telling you that, it's clear as day that it's a dead-end road, then it's, yeah, okay. Now you can turn around, But before you decide to turn around from what you call is a dead-end road or a dead-end path in your life, make sure that it's truly a dead end. Sometimes the signs can lie. Don't forget that. Sometimes the signs can lie. Sometimes what you read online isn't always true. Sometimes what you hear from other people isn't always the truth, right? You just got to be the one to prove that. And yes, in case you still haven't figured it out, I am talking about life here. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about actually if you see a dead-end road sign, like right on this path that we're on, then we should just go past it. No, I'm talking about in life. A dead-end road, dead-end path, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that it's a true dead end before you just believe what the sign says. That's that. It's my little life lesson speech for men. So, all right, let's get to the car and read a section from the Bible. Hope you enjoyed that little mini adventure, along with a good old-fashioned, man-to-man lesson here. So, man-to-man talk. So, let's go. All right, Bible reading. Flipping to a random section. And picking out a random verse. All right. You, however, must teach what is appropriate to sound doctrine. Teach the older men to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-control, and sound in faith, in love, and endurance. Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but to teach what is good. Then they can urge the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, to be kind, and to be subject to their husbands, so that no one will malign the word of God. There you go. What does it come down to? Teach others to be good, man. Spread the good word. Teach good lessons. If you're going to teach lessons, make sure they're obviously good by God's word, so that his word is not maligned or slandered or thrown off course, right? So that way his word stays true throughout many generations. And that my brother, that'll do it right there. That'll do it. I have a free community down below if you want to go check that out, connect with other people. Hey, even message me if you're looking to, dive deeper into the mission or just into anything with it, whether it be faith or fitness or masculinity or nature, anything along those sides, right? So go check that out if you want to. Other than that, this has been the mission for today. So now it's your time, man. Time for you to become that masculine man God made you to be and to go on your own journey. And I'll see you tomorrow to continue our mission. Peace.